Hope this works. Okay, you're Foster, right? Yeah. Okay. All right. Hi, Foster. How are you doing?
Hey, Sydney. Good. How you doing today?
Good. Thanks for meeting with me. I'm Sydney from Paycom. I represent their sales team. I actually met your friend Logan at a Chamber of Commerce event, and he's one of our current customers, and he's actually someone that moved over from ADP and told me a little bit about you and kind of said that you would be a perfect person for us to reach out to see if you'd be a good fit for some of our services.
Logan's a funny guy. Yeah, I know him. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, no, definitely interested to hear what you have to say today, Sydney.
Yeah, so it's like about 10 minutes, a good time for having this conversation. Does that work with your schedule still?
Yeah, I got 10 minutes for you today.
Okay, great. And then before we get started, is there anyone else that you want to be here that needs to kind of be included in the conversation about payroll, HR, scheduling, time management, all that good stuff?
I have my assistant Caitlin help me a lot, but typically I'm going to be the one who's going to be making those decisions. So
Okay.
maybe potentially on another one, but right now it's just me. I'm good.
Okay, great. And at any point, if that changes, just let me know, and we can definitely include them in future conversations. So just to get started, I just want to kind of confirm some information about my conversation with Caitlin, some stuff I know about your business. Yeah, so I just wanted to ask around how many employees do you have? Is it around 40 still?
Yeah, right now we're still doing 40. It kind of fluctuates, just because we have a lot of part-time, a
Hmm.
lot of students coming in and out, just, all the hosts, bartender servers,
Yeah,
just that host, that customer satisfaction job, the
totally.
businesses. Yeah.
It's a lot of work. I know. I worked in restaurants my whole life, so I kind of know the process. And tell me a little bit about turnover. Do you experience a lot of turnover, adding people to payroll, taking them off? I know it's in a college town. It gets pretty busy.
Yeah, it's a lot of training. I spent a lot of time doing that. Just, like you said, with a lot of people coming in and out. Honestly, I wish I'd spent a lot less time on it. It can be kind of a little time consuming.
Yeah, I could only imagine, especially if you're doing it all by yourself. That must be super hard to manage, 40 employees, a restaurant, chefs, customers, all that. You got a lot on your plate for sure. Um, laptop's getting loud. So going off of that, I just wanted to ask you as well, do you deal with a lot of errors in your payroll stuff, like using this current system that you have?
I tried to be very meticulous, with how I do it. I don't want to do any errors. But that can be really hard. I spend a lot of time on it. I'm
Hmm.
doing it by myself. So, sometimes there's some stuff that slips through the cracks,
Hmm.
but it's hard sometimes. Yeah.
So how many hours are you spending per week doing HR and payroll roughly?
I would say on the weekends, I'd spend probably about 10 to 15 hours doing HR payroll corrections and kind of teaching them the systems.
Dang, that is a lot of time. I totally feel for you. And like I said, you seem like a perfect candidate. I'd love to be able to provide you with a solution to not having to spend as much time on payroll matters in HR. I'm curious, like, what would you rather spend your time doing if you had the opportunity to change your system and decrease some of those hours? How would you allocate your extra time?
I'm actually looking to do that. I'd love to spend more time kind of on the floor and trying to figure out what I'm going to do in these next 5 years. I'm trying to be able to sell my business so I can retire. So
Mhm.
definitely would be able to try and focus on how I'd be able to get around that and prepare those people for how to handle the business for when I'm gone. But like you said, it's kind of hard to do that with a lot of time spending on the weekends with all this payroll stuff that I'm doing.
Right. So if I'm hearing you correctly, you want to spend more time on the floor, spend more time with customers, get your weekends back, and be able to spend more time and effort into potentially selling the business in 5 years.
Yep, that's you hit the nail on the head there, Sydney.
Okay, great. Well, I appreciate you kind of giving us a foundation for this conversation and sharing some of the stuff that you're going through and challenges. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you so I can present our solution. Um, okay. So this is kind of just a brief agenda, just kind of talking about you, some business impact, some strategy, some investment value, and then future plans. Does that all sound okay with you?
Yeah, it looks good to me.
All right, give me one second here. So our payroll solution is Paycom. It's an HR and technology and payroll software in a single application. I think that's the biggest benefit of our product is we have everything all in one. Whereas ADP, if you can see on the next slide, has things in different apps, so it's hard to navigate and hard to train. And when you're dealing with a lot of turnover and a lot of training new employees, it can be tricky trying to navigate through multiple apps. But with Paycom, it's just one single app, and you can go on there and have all of your time management, time off requests, payroll, expenses, documents. So everything's all in one spot, easily to train. It saves a lot of time for you because one of the biggest benefits of this exact one Beti, which is Beti's not a person, but it is a software that helps you manage your employees. The biggest benefit, in my opinion, that could save you the most amount of time is having your employees enter their own payroll on their end, and it takes the kind of burden off your shoulders, and it actually increases the trust between you and your employees because they're able to input their time, you're able to confirm it, and then they're able to confirm it again. So it kind of creates this symbiotic relationship between you and your employees and gives you a lot of that time back. Does that all make sense?
Yeah, no, I definitely am looking for something more a little streamlined, kind of like you showed on the last slide. We
Totally,
use
yeah.
ADP over here as well, and can be a lot kind of, especially with so many people coming in and out onboarding,
Mm-hmm.
having to teach them the multiple apps can be a little tricky.
Yeah, no, and that's honestly a lot of the struggle that most of our clients have is having everything spread out. And so we've been able to kind of find a solution for you guys. I want to kind of speak a little bit on to this testimonial here. You mentioned that you want to get your weekends back. This manager of IHOP, Lindy, was in a very similar position, kind of on a greater scale. She has 450 employees. So our software can manage 2 employees to thousands. We have the capability for all, and if you plan to expand or sell your business, we have that solution for you. Basically, she was spending a lot of time doing HR and payroll, and you'd be doing the same, without having an extra person to help you. And when we implemented our payroll solution, she was able to reduce the payroll and administrative costs by 40%. So the payroll or Paycom's a bit more expensive. However, it's going to be saving you a lot more money long term. And then based on a simple calculation that I'm doing here, one second. Based on the amount of hours that you spend doing payroll, you would save about 97 workdays per year switching over to Paycom. So if you see on the left-hand side, this individual saved 20 workdays a year, you would be quadrupling that. So, there's a lot of benefit for you and your employees all together. And I'd love to be able to kind of show you how the application works in person, and kind of set up a demo for you so you could have anyone be there that would want to, your team, whatnot, to see if this would be something that you could see yourself implementing. Is that something that you would be interested in?
Definitely. The only thing that I heard you talk about was a little bit was just I do like ADP because it is a little less expensive. And I actually heard from a friend that they kind of had the whole implementation process with with Paycom and was kind of a little iffy for him.
Yeah.
But I'd like to hear a little more about that.
Yes. So we really prioritize our customers. You're our biggest priority. Our turnover rate is actually, or our retention rate is actually 93% to 98%. So we really prioritize keeping our customers around, and we do that through our customer support. I can't really speak to their experience, and we apologize for any hardships that they might have faced, but we are dedicated to making sure that doesn't happen, and we have employees on our staff, on our teams, that are dedicated solely to getting you guys trained on and making sure you have everything you need to not only understand the product but to be able to implement and teach the product moving forward. So um, I think having that demo with you could be really beneficial to kind of showing you what our product is and how that product could work for you, and see if that's like kind of an issue that you could still see moving forward. Does that kind of clear that up for you?
Yeah, I think it really does. I think you did a good job explaining that. And like you said, I definitely would be interested in seeing a little more for a demo. Yeah,
Okay, great. Well, how does maybe next Tuesday or Wednesday sound?
I should be free on next Wednesday.
Around 9 a.m.?
I could do 9 a.m. for you.
Okay, sounds great. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, Sydney.
I literally thought my timer said I had spent 8 minutes.
What was the time on that?
I think it was like 5 minutes because I read my timer wrong.
No, that wasn't 5 minutes.
It wasn't? Okay.
No,
Okay,
that
good.
I'm okay. I'm. Are you still recording?
I'm
Yeah.
trying to stop recording.
That was really good. Like that felt really smooth. Like even just like you led me up to like answer questions I felt in a certain way.
Mhm.